guys?
What's up, peoples?
So today we're going to talk about establishing boundaries in relationships.
Boundaries. Boundaries are important. They kind of set up the parameters of your relationship, and it's important to set them up when you're dating. That way they're already kind of in place when you're married, and then also helps boundaries from outside your marriage as far as family and other people. So we're going to talk about all that.
All right, let's go.
Let's go. Certain things you expect to have in a relationship as far as boundary-wise. Like obvious stuff that shouldn't have to be said, but a lot of times has to be said. And that's a lot of thing with boundaries is that when boundaries come up, a lot of those things are things that you have yourself that you feel that, okay, well, you should know that you shouldn't do this or you should do this. But if you never say those things out loud, don't be surprised when the other person doesn't feel the same way. So it's always best to discuss how you feel about things and where your parameters of your relationship is when you go into a relationship. That way you know. That way you don't have any surprises later.
I quickly learned that I had a boundary that I kind of didn't know I had. You need to let me know like what you're doing. Like there's no reason why I should send you a text or I should call your phone and I not get a response within an hour. I'm gonna think something's wrong, or I'm gonna I don't know, my mind's just gonna start wandering.
I think it's like it depends on where you're at dating. If you guys are just like gotten together, that's like one thing. If y'all like being together for a while and y'all are basically like towards the courting stage, then it's kind of like, yeah, it's a certain level of like accountability of where you're at, what you're doing, type of thing.
And I only say that to say because I get kind of crazy if I don't get a response. Like I start thinking like the worst of the worst. I don't know why. Like I'm like, oh my God, it's like
they got in an accident.
Did you get in an accident? Or somebody kidnap you? Like I start thinking crazy.
Your mind goes crazy places. And I'm like,
yeah,
my phone was just dead. Like, relax. Like,
if I know like the person I'm dating, is at a game or is in practice, in church or something like that. If I know that ahead of time, I know not, to reach out, and I know they're busy. But just knowing that they're going to be like certain places, that's just something you really need to let the other person know. For me personally, anyway. That was one boundary that I didn't really know.
Live your life.
I didn't really know I had.
Check when you fit. And that's one thing that I had to realize, especially dating you, is that the idea of like having the whole, okay, well, there's someone looking for you. So like, make sure like you let them know where you're at, because like, especially you're just living your life. You don't think about checking on people.
Oh, when you're single, you can do that. You wasn't used to dating.
Exactly, yeah. Mm-mm. And that wasn't a religious boundary moment. My wasn't a boundary that I had. One was that live your life. I'll check in when I see you. When I see you, I'll know where you are. You do you, I do me. Whatever. Chill. We all right. That's kind of how it was.
And then for me, I think another boundary when dating is just having respect for the person you're dating. Like, I wouldn't want the person I'm dating to, disrespect me in front of their friends or families and not just be so relaxed when talking about, things we're either going through or things that we did. Just respect is a really big thing for me.
Yeah, because you have some people who, if they're in a relationship, texting an ex or talking to someone they talked to before, that doesn't bother them. And then some people, they're ready to cut your head off. So you have to know those boundaries and know those levels
early on
before you get like super committed to someone. Because if your boundaries are out of whack, that's how you cause conflict, and that's how people break up over breaking boundaries that people didn't necessarily know they had.
Or being friends with an ex. When I say friends, I mean like, you're still talking to them, you're hanging out. But if you're friends with them on Facebook, that's fine. But if you're giving them hearts on Facebook, every picture you're commenting.
Well, I don't think that's really
under every picture. That's a boundary. But you can still be friends with them because I personally anyway, I'm still friends with people I went to high school with. I'm still friends with everybody on Facebook. Even if I had to follow somebody, I'm still friends with them on Facebook. Because at the end of the day, I'm nosy. I know that person's nosy. I'm going to be like, okay, what's this person doing right now?
I'll do it all the time.
Like, I go back and look at people's pages. I know people go back and look at my pages. So, I mean, like, I want them to see me succeeding. And I don't mind seeing them succeeding either. I mean, I'm not a hater. it's like at the end of the day, I mean, you know, fly on the wall type thing.
Mm-hmm.
I can still be friends, you know.
But
on
it's
social media.
The interacting with them
yes,
on like
but
a regular
I'm not
basis.
interacting with them.
Yeah, which makes sense. Again, it's an obvious thing, but sometimes it needs to be said. Don't be talking to your exes. Like,
yes.
Yeah.
But some couples are fine with that.
Some couples are fine with that.
You
but
do
you do you.
Not
but
here.
Don't
Not
be
here.
surprised when something come up and it's like, oh yeah, we're talking. We think about getting back together. See, that's how that stuff be happening now. Like, I fall under the idea that if you're dead to me if I'm not with you, so you don't exist. So like, I don't even think about you. I forget your name sometimes. Like, who are you? That's kind of how I am. So like, that's never an issue for us. Anyways,
that leads into dun, 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 dun. No, that's not one. Here comes the bride.
No,
Here
that is a whack.
Dressed in white.
No,
right?
that is a whack.
Okay, how does the marriage song go? Dun, 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 dun.
Yeah, that's how it goes.
Marriage.
That was no.
So all those boundaries that you've established when you're dating kind of trickles over to marriage. But then marriage, you kind of have more boundaries because in marriage you're now like married to your husband as one.
You have more responsibilities.
More responsibility. An added family or bonus family, whatever you want to call it. You have more family now. So like those boundaries are much different, but yet similar.
Yeah.
In a way.
It's like, for example, going back to talking to people you talked to before, or talking to people outside your marriage. If you're married and you are a male, you don't necessarily need to have female friends. That's just asking for issues. Same thing with a female. You don't necessarily have male friends. That's asking for issues. Not necessarily saying that anything would happen, but why even open the door for the devil to put his foot in it at all?
And when he says friends, he means like friends.
Like friends.
We can
like
have
acquaintances.
We have male and female like associates.
Acquaintances.
People
you know you like people at school. Like people at school are like, okay, that's
I don't
even know names.
When we say friends,
from a distance.
We mean like these are people like you're actively talking to
hanging
outside of, you know, your social groups, you know, seeing them, you know, one-on-one.
Yeah.
Calling them, texting them, like friends.
Like friends. Yeah. Not like someone I talk to when I go to school, but someone that you socialize with outside on a regular basis. Yeah. Yeah, that's just asking for an issue. Only person you socialize with your wife. You guys can have friends together. So if you guys have like married friends, a couple friends, are like, okay, well, they're best friends with my wife and whatever, chill. Well, that's different. But your own personal person that is the opposite sex that you personally call and you personally hang out with, that's just asking for issues. That's how I feel. Yeah. Some people don't feel that way. Other relationships are different. Like I said, it depends on your marriage and the boundaries you set. Some people are like, oh, well, we've been friends since before I met you. Like, they're always going to be my friend. Like, okay, let them be a best friend. Man, that's not a relationship you necessarily want to get into. That's kind of how I feel about that. In marriage, you have boundaries and finances. Because your finances are one now, there's certain responsibilities you have. You can't necessarily go and spend money like you would if you were single.
Yeah, or dating. Because when you're dating, you spend and do whatever you want with your money.
Exactly. So once you're married, you have to think about that. That's a new boundary that's added to your relationship once you get married, because your finances
will affect the other person.
Should be one. You know how we feel about finances. You can look at our finances video. And finances should be one. Some relationships aren't like that, but either way, your finances do affect the other person in some way.
Yeah, in the long term. It will affect the other person.
So buying a car or buying a big purchase item, you need to have those boundaries. So a lot of relationships, they set up boundaries. Okay, well, if you're going to spend more than $100, let me know. Or spend more than $50, let me know. Or whatever amount that is comfortable for your relationship and your marriage or your boundaries, a limit of where you need to involve the other person when you're planning on making a spending purchase.
Yeah. Like, we have a limit. Like, he has a limit and I have a limit. So it's like, if you're going to spend over a certain amount, let the other person know. Because I don't want to be, you know, going to buy something and my account is negative, or I'm checking my bank statement and I'm like expecting to see a certain amount and it's not there.
Especially if you're not the one that pays that handles our finances and pays bills. You have to spend the money, and that's the rent money. You don't know, so you need to have those conversations. You need to know where money's going, have those boundaries of what you can spend and what you shouldn't spend.
And it's not like, oh, you're dictating the other person what they can do with their money. It's just that you guys are just coming together as one knowing how much money is coming in and how much money is coming out, so you're not like overspending and messing up the budget.
Exactly.
You may have small boundaries in marriage. Like, this may be a little TMI, but I personally don't care if my husband comes in the restroom while I'm using it.
Really? That's
But
what we're going?
He
we're going
cares.
with this?
But he cares. Like, those are just small boundaries that we kind of quickly established because he doesn't like that. But I don't care. I mean, right now, my son, he's in the bathroom when I go. I don't mind if my husband comes in the bathroom when I go, but he cares.
There's just certain things. It's just kind of like, nothing. It's a personality thing. Bathroom is peace. It's like to get away from everyone else. So you just
Yeah.
So those are the kind of some of the boundaries that we have and that you may have within your marriage, but also you have boundaries that kind of protect your marriage from the outside. So you have basic marriages within your family. Like, for example, like your parents and what you allow them to do within your marriage and the control they have. Like, you have some people whose in-laws have keys to their house and they're able to come over whenever they want without announcing themselves. That's just crazy to me. We grown folks. You let me know when you come over my house. But some people don't have that boundary. Yeah. They're allowed to go in each other's houses and whatever, and like you come home from work and your in-law sitting there just chilling. Some people have that. Other people, you know what? No, call me before you come, and I'll tell you if you're allowed to come and if you're not. Mm-hmm. Those are different boundaries people have in marriage. Or, okay, don't tell your family all our business. When we talk about what happens in our relationship, stays in the relationship. Don't be going to your father or your mother, your brother, sister, saying what's going on and whatever. No, it's outside of the marriage. There's a boundary there. Some people have that boundary, some people don't. It really depends how open you are, how relaxed you are. And then also kind of dabbling back to the finances. With the outside of the marriage, sometimes you have some people who are fine with giving money to other members of their family. And you don't have to talk to your spouse when you have to give something to your family. You have other parents who are like, you know what, no, you plan on giving your sister, your brother, your mother some money, let me know what it is, no matter what it is. Mm-hmm. Some people feel that way. It's kind of like you have to have those limits of how involved you want your family to be in your marriage.
Yeah, and I think with us, we like our family. Some people don't like their family.
So sad.
It just goes back to the limit. Like, if it's going to be, like, over a certain amount, it's something that needs to be discussed. Mm-hmm. But, like, if it's, like, something that's so small, I feel like if somebody needs it, if they're asking for it, it's fine. We know that everybody has different boundaries.
True that.
This is just a few of our boundaries. Go ahead and comment down below anything that you liked that we've mentioned, or any boundaries that we haven't mentioned, and anything that you guys do in your relationship.
Yeah, so the main thing is that when you're talking about boundaries is that you communicate your boundaries to your partner, your spouse, your significant other, your core person you're dating, wherever, ahead of time. That way you guys can kind of get on it even in front. Like I said earlier, I thought a lot of the issues that people have in relationships is a crossing of boundaries where you basically did something the other person had a boundary with that you necessarily may not have known that was a boundary for them or a hot button topic for them. So in discussing those things ahead of time and saying this is okay, this is not okay, you can deal with a lot of issues that may come up in a relationship.
And especially with blended families, you guys definitely have to talk about boundaries. Yes. And I only mentioned that because I did have a comment that I received a while ago, and it was a lot depending on your viewpoint on it. Especially when you're a blended family. Like, if you're like a stepmom to children who aren't yours, like you're gonna have you're gonna have different boundaries than somebody who's not level. A stepmom. So
like, can you cut the child's hair? Can you change your clothes? It's like a whole
you guys are gonna have a lot.
I just basically wanted to say that all those people who have blended families who are step parents, they are a gift from heaven. Sometimes they're like. The amount of stuff they go through sometimes, it's a blessing. I'm not that person. That wasn't what I wanted in life. But people who want that and who've done that, good for you. Go get them.
Thank you guys so much for watching this video.
Yes, like, subscribe, comment, share, interact. You know all those things. Come on, give us some love. Give us some love. We want some love. Hit that like button. Show us how much you appreciate us.
And share the video.
Exactly. Other people, you gotta
share the love.
Share the love all the way around. I'm gonna do that too. See, mine's is kind of weird though. Wait. I'm gonna get it. Oh, what? No, it's horrible. See, I'm not supposed to do that. It's cool. See, share some love. Give me some love. That way I can make a better heart. See, my heart's kind of whatever because you gotta like the videos. Like the videos, I get a better heart. I'll work on it. Okay, gotcha.
Bye.
Bye.